We are ready for some football on the Thursday Night Play Space live. Thanks for joining us. I'm Keith Avalone for Play Games. Sam is, as usual, running the production aspect of the stream. It's the weekend of the big game, as we're supposed to refer to it. The NFL is very protective of their brand, so we will refer to it as the big game. Cincinnati and Los Angeles, last few years we've streamed a pre-play of the game. But this year we thought we'd do something a little bit different and put our focus on springtime football, since it's kind of a hot topic. Specifically, our vision of what pro football in the springtime could be, and probably, given the financial ramifications of professional sports, probably what springtime football should be. More about that in a second, the Pro Football Showcase. But we did not entirely abandon the big game. A friend of Play, Paul Salzgeber, put together the two teams for second season football, as he's done for the past several years. And we posted them yesterday in a blog post at playclassic.com. I ran my own pre-play earlier this afternoon. It was pretty exciting. It actually seemed to be very in keeping with the way these teams have played, particularly in the postseason. The Rams got out to a big lead, 24-7. In the second quarter, but then Joe Burrow and the Bengals brought it back. Got it to be 27-21 at one point with a couple of touchdown passes from Burrow. And then the key moment, about 5 minutes left in the game, the Bengals were inside the Rams' 10, but a holding call killed the drive, and it was, do you kick the field goal, make it 27-24, or I thought about going for it on 4th and long, but I thought, we'll kick the field goal. They did get the ball back, but it was late. They managed to get barely inside Rams territory, and then McPherson missed the field goal that would have sent it to overtime, and the Rams hold on to win our pre-play 27-24. And you can have your own pre-play. Again, the teams are available for free download at playclassic.com. In the blog post, you'll not on the free stuff section, it's a blog post about which also includes several of my own personal thoughts on various pro football topics, particularly Sean Payton leaving the Saints and so on. Anyway, again, playclassic.com, go to the blog section. And now we present the 2022 Pro Football Showcase. This is also fully detailed in the blog section at playclassic.com, so I won't spend a lot of time discussing the concept. Instead, I mainly want to show you how the concept works. Particularly for Second Season Express. Most of us have limited time for games, or we have so many games that, we're limited in that way. We got a lot of time, but it's too many games. So many people prefer to play Second Season Express, and I wanted to show you particularly how it works for Second Season Express. So let's go to the game table, and I'll give you the scoop. Okay, so the thing about the Pro Football Showcase is it's totally open-ended. It's like if you watch the Alliance of American Football first week of play, you don't know what was going to happen. Same thing with the XFL in 2020. It's like, who are these people? I don't know how are they, who's good? So you don't really know. And that's the thing about sports simulation games. They're with the ratings, you kind of do know who's good and who's not. And sometimes they play to their ability, sometimes they don't. But there's really no surprise in who's good and who's not. This concept, though, the way this works is it's just like watching spring football for the first time. It's like, I don't know who these guys are. Some of these players I know, but I don't know how they're going to perform because it's totally open-ended. That's the way this works. And it's kind of it actually is a pretty cool concept. I've played a number of games here in the last day or two, and it's kind of a neat concept. But everybody's Pro Football Showcase will be different because the players are rated randomly based on the game book results. So for the full play game, it's quite simple, very straightforward. You'll choose your play. Let's say you do an outside run versus a run defense, and you'll roll the dice. And a 12 isn't such a great example because it doesn't call into any of the player ratings. It just calls into the scrimmage ratings. In this case, you'd check, Isaiah Spiller's outside grade, and he would get 9 yards. But let's just run the same play again. So we roll a 52. All right, so we're going to check player E. Is player E rated run 2? Well, he's not rated anything. We're going to find out. The decider die is going to tell us, and he is rated run 2. So we would mark a 2. We would mark a 2 under Donald Rutledge. He'd now be rated 2 on the run. And he would make the play. He would wrap up the runner, Spiller for no gain. We'd go to second down. Let's say we'd have Tampa Bay throw a medium pass, and we'll say that the Atlanta defense is going to be in the pass defense. So we go to the medium pass defense section, and we do the same thing. We would roll the dice. Hopefully I'll roll something below 22. Yeah, 53. Very good. is going to be another defense call. You're going to check player I. Is player I rated 0 on the pass? And you can roll the decider die right along with it at first because you're going to be checking everybody's ratings. And he's not. He's not a 0. So he would be rated a 1. If the answer is yes, you rate the player as called for by the game book. If the answer is no, you rate them as a 1. So player I would be rated 1. We pencil in a 1 on the pass for Hercules Matafa, and he would make the play. What would it be? He would he'd sack the quarterback. He'd sack Alex Smith for an 8-yard loss. So you'd see the stars begin to develop as the game goes on. So it works very well for full play. Express is a little bit different, though, and that's really what I want to focus on tonight. Because with Express, you're calling chunks of plays together, and you're checking chunks of players. So how does it work if you want to play second season Express? Like I said, I played several showcase games with Express, and there are some things that you have to improvise on as you start with a completely blank chalkboard here. The decider die again is the key, yes or no. But in Express, you'll also need to roll a die. I suggest a special die. I picked a very large green die as my special player identification die is what I'll call it. And it works essentially the same way. If the decider die says yes on a particular Express result, you'll use the D6 to determine who the result applies to, rather than applying it to everybody. For example, it might say, are 2 or more players rated run 0 in the offensive backfield? If the decider die says yes, then it's like, okay, well, who are the 2 players? That's where you've got to use the player identification dice. So in the case of the offensive backfield, you can use your own method for randomization. The way I do it, like if it's 2 players in the offensive backfield, there are 3 different boxes: quarterback, fullback, and SB. What I'll say is I'll just roll a die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and whoever comes up is not a 0. So I would say, okay, so Alex Smith is not a 0. I'd pencil in 0 for the other 2 players. So it works like that. Now, if the decider die is no, that also creates some issues when you're playing with Express. Because the general rule of the showcase series is if the answer is no, you're going to assign them a 1 rating, an average rating. But this can be problematic sometimes early on, when there are no or very few players rated. I mean, you could end up giving the entire team a 1 rating, which wouldn't be fun. It'd be like, oh, okay, I'm rating the entire defense 1 for run, because it might say, for example, is at least 1 player rated past 2 on the defense? The answer might be no by the decider die. So in that case, you'd have to, if you go by the rules as presented for full play, you'd have to rate everybody on the defense 1. So the way I get around that is first of all, I limit it to 1 line of the defense of the offense. And I'll use, the big green die to determine which line that is. So, for example, if it were to say, is at least 1 player on the defense rated 2 on the pass? And the answer was no. Instead of rating everybody 1 on the pass, I would roll the die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2 would be the defensive backs, 2, 3, 4 would be the linebackers, and 5 and 6 would be the defensive line. And I would rate that line, in other words, these guys would get the 1, on the run. Everybody else would remain blank. That makes it so it doesn't, you don't just wipe out the whole team with 1 roll, but it still, adds some, some complexity and some interest to the ratings process. So that's essentially how it works. I think the best way really to show it and kind of cover some of the different possible outcomes is to actually play a game. So we're going to go ahead with, this is the final game of week 1 for me, the Atlanta Drillers, sponsored by Pro Grip Power Tools, against the Tampa Bay Bottom Line, funded in part by Suncoast Capital. And, really when it gets right down to it, it's not such a stretch that teams would be sponsored by, corporate sponsors. I mean, stadiums are. Why not the teams themselves? So, in our vision of springtime pro football, this would add substantial income to the league, and to of course, these teams would all be owned by the league. It would add substantial income to the league, and it would also be quite attractive, I think, to the sponsors, because they could, basically have a 3-hour commercial on Sunday afternoon, because these players would be wearing their colors and wearing their logo, and I do think it would be attractive to sponsors to have an arrangement like this. All right, let's go ahead and play a game. We'll play the first half of this game. And I'm going to time it here with the timing pawn at the top. Generally, I use a score sheet, so sometimes I may forget or remember late when to move that pawn, but we'll just play it as this is not crucial. Not like the Super Bowl. This is this is not crucial. It's just mainly for demonstration purposes. All right, so we're gonna do the kickoff. We roll a 6 on the kickoff, and it's an O result, and it's going to be a 4, zone 4 for the kickoff. So we'll let Tampa Bay go first with the purple pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to start just shy of midfield. All right, so let's have Tampa Bay. We're going to set our identification dice there. We're going to roll the 2 dice and the decider. We'll have Tampa Bay call a run sequence, and it'll be against a safe defense. Well, and wouldn't you know, we've got that right at the top here. So we're going to roll our dice, and we're going to check our 2 or more defensive backs rated run 2. The decider dice is yes. So we want to know which. So one thing to mention, when you're deciding who gets rated, forget the extra verbiage like 2 or more defensive backs, 2 or less. It's always going to be, in that case, you're always going to rate 2 of them. So our question here is which 2 are going to be rated run 2, and this is what we're going to use this for. And again, we got 4 defensive backs and a 6-sided die, so it's not entirely fair. One way to do is just to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if you roll a 5 or 6, roll it again, and that way it's exactly equal for people that like that kind of thing. So that's what I'll do here. So we're going to roll that again. And so 1. Marcus Jones will get a 2. He'll be rated run 2, and you just pencil it right in there. You can print these off as many times as you need. And the second guy will be Prince and Nakamura, will be rated run 2. And then we resolve the play. They're going to seal it off for no gain. And it looks like we get a decider die roll to see if there's going to be a third down play, and there will not be. So big defensive play by Nakamura and Marcus Jones. They jumped in there and stuffed the play. So we'll move this down to, there's my kickoff, there's my first play. And so it looks like Tampa Bay is going to have to punt. So we'll roll the punt die. 4 will be a 4-zone punt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice kick. So Atlanta will take over inside their own 10, and we'll move the timing token. All right, so let's have Atlanta also run a run sequence to start against a pass defense. So the bottom line was thinking it was going to be a pass coming out of the end zone, but instead it's a run. We roll a 63. Is the home team on defense? Okay, so this is interesting. In the showcase, we're playing at Hub Cities, but each team gets to host one game, and it just so happens that this game is actually at Atlanta. So the home team is Atlanta, and they're not on defense. So we will have a not much gain, but the drive is still alive. They avoided a fumble, kind of a botched play there. So they'll get a third down play. And there's no ratings to change, so we'll just leave that. We're going to do a pass play now on 3rd and long, we'll say, against a safe defense. So pass play versus safe defense, or pass sequence versus safe defense. And we roll a 54. Oh, we got a fumble. And so, again, we will not need to use the ratings. It'll just be a fumble. And look at this. Tampa Bay is going to take over inside the Atlanta 10. We'll move the timing token, flip this over. And here we go. Tampa Bay on offense. We'll do, let's see here. We'll do a pass play. Try to toss it in here. Alex Smith. Against that will be in a zone, in a goal line defense, will be against a run defense. So they're throwing into the run defense. Pass sequence versus run defense. 65. All right, our 2 or more linebackers rated 0 on the pass. The decider die says no, which means that they're all going to be rated 1 now. 1, 1, 1. And that would have been a touchdown, but because they're sufficiently strong on defense, it will be it will be complete. They're not gonna get the interception because Alex Smith doesn't have a high enough Y grade. So it'll be complete. They're gonna get at least one zone. It'll be a score for Tampa Bay. We'll move the timing token. So it's 6-0 Tampa Bay. Now we're going to show you how I'm doing a conversion attempt. So what I'm saying is you have 3 options in the Pro Football Showcase. You can either kick the extra point for 1. It's a normal kick from the 25, or you can try for a 3-point conversion from zone 1 or the 5-yard line if you're playing full play, or you can try for a 6-point conversion from the 10-yard line or zone 2 in this case. So generally speaking, it's early in the game. We'll go ahead and do a 3-point conversion try. So a 3-point conversion try for Tampa Bay, and let's see. We'll have them try to pass it in against a safety or against a let's see, would be a run defense. Pass sequence against a run defense. So 54. We'll decide if we need it. Any player on the defensive line rated 2 on the pass. Okay, so the decider says no. So we will rate them all 1 on the pass. 1, 1, 1, and 1. And it looks like it's going to be a conversion, a successful conversion. So they get a 3-point extra point, and it's 9-0 Tampa Bay. Conversions aren't going to run any time off the clock. Let's go ahead and kick off. So the fumble really cost Atlanta, and Tampa will take a 9-0 lead. Kickoff is going to put Atlanta starting from their own second zone right around the 20. Mark this off. Flip it over, and here comes Matt Moore. And we'll try a pass play against a safe defense. So 56, safe defense, pass sequence. Any defensive back rated 0 on the pass. The decider die says yes. We want to know which one it is. And we'll do our same procedure there. At 5, we'll roll again. Looks like it's going to be Jalen Catalon. Now, by the way, he'll be rated. Let's go ahead and resolve this here. So it's complete, and it'll be a gain of 2 zones. 8 minutes left to go in the period. Atlanta on the move. Parenthetically, the college players are marked in blue. You might have seen some of these players at the Senior Bowl. These are all real players. The guys in black print are NFL guys, training camp guys. A lot of them have NFL experience. Obviously, Matt Moore played in the NFL. Alshon Jeffrey. The blue players are college seniors who will be probably drafted in April. And we're looking at this like an opportunity for them to boost their draft standing by, playing really well in this series. Jalen Catalon, however, probably didn't help himself right there by missing that play. All right, so that puts Atlanta out to just shy of the 50. We'll have them do a run sequence against a safe defense. I like to do it this way, keeping all the run cards on the same side. All right, so 46, 2 or more linebackers rated run 2. Decider says no. So there'll be 1s, and it'll be a gain. So we'll put 1 ratings for Buchanan, Toto, and Compton, and it'll be a gain of 2 zones. And the drive continues for Atlanta. We'll do another run sequence against a pass defense. Here we go. We got a 25 and a decider die bullet. 3 or more players rated run 2 on the offense. Okay, here's one of those deals where we're talking about the entire offense, not just an offensive group. So obviously we don't have that. We don't know because there are so many players that are not rated yet. So we're going to the decider die says yes. There are 3 or more players rated run 2 on the offense. So we got to decide which 3 players are rated run 2. So again, we'll just do it by position group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't have to do it this way. It's just easiest. So it'll be 5, 6. So this group, they'll be all 2s. So we'll put 2. Looks like Kenneth Walker is going to be a 2, and Trey Quinn will be a 2. So we'll make all these guys 2 because there's 3 or more players, right? And the defenders will be flattened to be a gain on this play. Oh, it's going to be an XR gain. Looks like they might score 4. They score a touchdown. All right, so Kenneth Walker booms into the end zone, and Atlanta is on the board with a touchdown. Let's see here. All right, so now we got 5 minutes to go in the period, and we'll have them go for 3 as well. And let's see, 4. Oh, I got to decide what they're going to do. We'll have them pass. We'll do a pass sequence against a safe defense. No, I'm sorry, from inside the 10. That would not be safe. That would be a run defense. So for 3 points, it's a pass sequence against a run defense that bodes pretty well for the 3-point conversion for Atlanta. 66. 3 or more defenders rated 2 on the pass. Decider die says no. So again, we're not going to go through the entire team. We're going to pick a position group, and they'll be rated 1s. Be position group 5, so the defensive line will all be 1s on the pass. All right, and the answer is no, so that'll be the conversion, and a 3-point conversion ties the score 9-9. Here's our kickoff. 5. Zone 3 for Tampa Bay. Score is 9-9. And let's see here. We'll have Tampa Bay do a pass sequence against a safe defense. 11. Oh, that's just going to be a passer grade of, question mark. Passer grade greater than 1. It probably is. It's going to be picked off, I think. No, actually, Alex Smith's Y grade is 1. So it's not great, and that's going to be incomplete. Fortunately, that's actually going to be complete, not incomplete. It's going to be complete. So Smith avoids the pick and gets a zone gain out of it. Nicely done, Alex Smith. We'll try a run sequence after that close call, and it's against a safe defense. So you can see you're not always, changing your ratings, but frequently. 52. At least one defensive lineman rated run 2. Well, we've rated them all. They're all 1, so that answer, we don't have to do any ratings changes here. We already have the answer for that. It's a no. So they'll get a gain. And so Tampa will gain a zone, and the drive will continue. And we'll try another run play, run sequence. Again, against the safe defense. 52. At least one defensive lineman rated run 2. Well, nobody's rated there yet, so the decider die says yes. So one of these guys will be rated 2, and we'll use our system of 5 and 6 rolling again. So 3. So Julian Taylor will be rated 2. And he'll make the big play to shed the block and tackle Spiller for a loss. And we'll have to roll the decider to see if they get a third down play. And they do not. So we'll move that down, and we'll have a punt. Actually, they're in their zone 4. They could try a long field goal. Although they don't have a really good kicker. A would be 11. Yeah, what the heck. We'll see. First, we have to see if they can try it, first of all. And the decider die says, yes, they can. So we'll have him try it. He's an A kicker. 11 to 33 will be good. And he missed it. So it's a missed field goal. I've been experimenting with, in Express, moving it back a zone if they missed the field goal, but I don't think that'd be appropriate here. And that will be almost the end of the period. So no score there, and looks like Atlanta will take over right there. All right. This will be the last play of the period, and it'll be we'll have them try a pass sequence against a safe defense. 46. Pass sequence, safe defense. Any player on the defensive line rated 2 on the pass. Again, they're all rated 1s, so that's going to be a no. We're going to check Matt Moore's interception grade. He's also a 1, so that will not be intercepted. It'll just be an incomplete pass, and that'll be the end of the drive. As we go to the start of the second quarter, on a punt, we'll put it 3 zones, 1, 2, 3. So it looks like Tampa will take over here. And then we move that. So Tampa takes over. And I think you get the idea. I'll go ahead and run a few more sequences just in case there's some things I haven't covered. I think most of the situations have come up. But just in case, we'll run a couple more sequences here, and then I'll close with some final notes here. Let's have Tampa Bay do a run sequence against a pass defense. Run sequence, pass defense. Here's our dice roll. 31. At least one player rated run 2 in the offensive backfield. Well, nobody in the backfield has rated anything yet. The decider die says yes. So, again, we're going to ignore the part about at least 1 and just say 1 player. In this case, we're going to rate 1 player. So, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Smith, 1 or 2? Wright, 3 or 4? Spiller, 5 or 6? And it looks like Smith. Smith will be rated 2 on the run. And our result will be a gain. Smith's head fake or his astute play call, his audible at the line, created a gain of 2 zones. And we move the token. Let's have him do another run play. It seems to be working pretty well against a blitz defense. Run sequence against a blitz. 56. At least one defensive lineman rated run 0. We have one that's rated 2. The rest of them are unrated, so the decider die says no. So that means the rest of these guys are all going to be rated 1s. Not too bad for them. And it'll be a gain, but not an XR gain, a short gain. 2 zones. The drive continues for Tampa Bay. We'll have them do a pass sequence against a blitzing defense. Pass sequence, blitzing defense, 22. Passer's completion grade AAA or better. It indeed is. Alex Smith is 4A, so he gets a completion. Beats the blitz. Oh, it's an X gain. I think he's going to score. Yep, he does. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. So let's see. 3-zone pass. And just for fun, let's go ahead and go for 6. We'll do a pass sequence against a safe defense. Pass sequence, safe defense, 46. Any player on the defensive line rated 2 on the pass. They're all 1s. Is the passer's Y grade greater than 8? It is not. Would have been intercepted, but instead it's incomplete. So they do not convert the 6-point conversion. It remains 15-9. We'll give Atlanta one more shot here, right? Here's the kickoff. Ooh, they'll take over from the 2. 9 minutes to go in the half. And here we go. We'll have Matt Moore. We'll do a run sequence. Oops, against a. It's a 5, both of them. So against a run defense. Run sequence, run defense. 64. 2 or more defensive linemen rated run 0. Well, as we can see, we haven't rated any of them yet. The decider die says yes. So again, we're going to determine which 2 defensive linemen are rated run 0. And it's going to be Tyrone Crawford. Again, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're rolling again on 5 and 6. And Trevon Walker. Okay, so let's resolve the play first of all. So because they're zeros, Kenneth Walker's going to bust through the middle of the Tampa Bay bottom line and pick up a 1-zone gain because it was run defense after all. And we'll finish out this drive and then call it a game. We'll do a pass sequence against a pass defense. 53. 2 or more defensive backs rated 2 on the pass. Okay, so we've got one guy that's rated 0. We got a bunch of guys that aren't rated. So the question is going to be yes or no. The decider die says no. It's too bad. It would have been a pick. So these guys are going to get rated 1. And let's see, the passer grade is not, Y grade is not greater than 6, so it'll be incomplete. Would have been a pick had they had a 2 back there. So it's incomplete, and they will have to punt. 5 on the punt. It's a 4-zone kick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not too bad. So Tampa Bay would take over here with 7 minutes remaining in the half. All right, so I think you get the idea how this works. A couple of points here. If you leave the cam on the table for just a second, I want to talk about you can at your discretion change players and bring in one of the reserves. So you're not locked in. If a guy winds up getting like a 0 rating, or let's say you're not happy with the defensive play of Walker and Crawford, you can bring up one of these other guys. You can just draw a line through Crawford, for example, and next time. You'll be rating Walter Palmore. Maybe he can get a better grade. So you do have some options there. And again, you can mark these up because you can always print them again once you get your ratings final. And the more you play, the more the ratings will come together. A couple of other things. Let me get my crib notes here. You can go back to the head cam. I just want to make sure I pointed these out. You can add you can add some granularity to the ratings. I was talking with Travis Jansen about this because the way this works is players are 1, 2, or 0. What about the 1 pluses or the 1 minuses? You want to have some granularity to the player ratings. That can be and first of all, I want to say for a showcase context where you're playing a very short season, I don't think it's necessarily bad to have pure ratings of 2s, 1s, and 0s. Excuse me. But if you'd like granularity, one idea that I had, which I think I will try, is adding a couple of dice rolls post-game or at the end of the week, going through each of the rosters and rolling the dice a couple times. You just use the injury chart on the I think it's page 3 of the game book, and just roll the 2 dice and the decider. So whatever player comes up, if the decider is bullet, you'll increase him by a half grade. If the decider is blank, you'll decrease him by a half grade. If the team won the previous week, you can increase or decrease that half grade to the good side. So it's like he gets better in the red zone. In other words, if the team won, let's say you got a player that's rated 1-1, but your die roll says your personnel roll says that he's going to lose a half quality or a half grade on the run or on the pass. If the team won, you could make him a 1-0 plus. If the team lost, you would make him a 1 minus. So you could do that. You maybe do that a couple times each week, and by the end of the series, you'd have quite a nice variety of ratings. You could also say that if a player, like, it is possible, especially early on, that you would do this personnel roll, and the player might not have any ratings. In that case, you would just say he's a 1-1, and then you would adjust, based on what the roll was, what the decider says, whether to increase or decrease. So that's one thought to add a little bit of granularity. I mentioned that I played out the first 3 games of the week. There's a schedule that's posted with the download, and they were very entertaining games. I played Southern California and Chicago. SoCal had the big lead. It was 16-6 at the half. They went up 30-12 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, but Chicago came back. It was a tremendous turnaround. They got a TD pass to end the third quarter, and then they kicked off and LA fumbled. They scored another TD pass, and then they converted the 6-point conversion. So just like that, it went from 30-12 to 30-30, and Chicago wound up winning it 44-30. Really, very entertaining game. I played Dallas and Houston. Another great game. Houston just took advantage. There were 2 pick sixes. Who was Houston's quarterback? I forget who it was. Brett Hundley. Through 2. No, I'm sorry. It was the Dallas quarterback. It was Nick Mullins. Brett Hundley's the Houston quarterback. Nick Mullins for Dallas threw 2 pick sixes in the first quarter. So I said, he's out of there. And I thought, what the heck, I'll bring in Tim Tebow. So they're down 23-0. I bring in Tim Tebow. And wouldn't you know, they come all the way back. They take the lead 24-23. They eventually did lose 42-39. But another high-scoring, very entertaining game with the Hammerheads from Houston and the Dollar Bills from Dallas. And then the third game was interesting in that it went to overtime. A lower scoring game was New York and Washington. New York won it 19-16 in overtime. And the way I play overtime is, and again, I'm kind of experimenting with the rules, but the overtime rules that I'm using are, if the score is tied, you do a coin flip. The team that wins a coin flip can choose whatever conversion they want. They can't choose a 1-point conversion, though. They have to either go for 3 or go for 6. And then they either convert or they don't, and then the other team gets to convert from 3 or 6. And you keep going until somebody wins. And as it turned out, New York, how did it go? New York went for a 3-point conversion. They won the coin flip. It was tied 16-16. They won the coin flip, went for a 3-point conversion, made it, and then Washington went for a 6-point conversion to win it, and they did not convert. So New York won 19-16. It's very, very quick and fun, and I really like it. So, suggested way to do your overtimes. So that is the Pro Football Showcase. And again, if you have questions, you can always email me. The info at play.com is the best email address for questions like that. Next Thursday, we will go live with our Scram and NASCAR sets. It's also it's just about racing season with the Daytona just around the corner. So we'll go live with the new 2022 Scram and 2021 NASCAR sets on Thursday for Red, White, and Blue Racing, and we will kick off the new Scram season live from Hawaii. Yes, To celebrate, we've wrapped up 10 seasons of Scram, so we thought we'd throw a little excitement into the season opening. Normally, we open up the Scram season in Minnesota at the Northern Lights Motordome, where it's like 10 below zero outside, but very warm and fume-filled inside. This year, though, we will do the season opener from the beaches of Waikiki. The Hawaii 100 is our road course race to kick off the season, and it should be pretty fun. And there's some really cool stuff in the new Scram season. You can read about that on the Play Classic site. So that's what's happening Thursday, and hope you'll join us then. Till then, have a great weekend. Don't forget, Monday's Valentine's Day. You'll regret it if you forget it. And we'll see you a week from tonight for the Hawaii 100 and the Scram racing season with Red, White, and Blue Racing. Keith Avalone for Play Games. Thanks for being part of the Play Games community. We'll see you again soon.